Well, hello there, Calgorithm. My name's Coop. I wanted to take just a moment to introduce myself. I do not believe that we've actually met up to this point. I believe that I am considered part of Canes Twitter because I am a Canes fan and I do post here on this platform. And I thought it would be just kind of cool to take a moment to get to know you guys and give you an opportunity to get to know myself. I wanted to show you what we were going to have during the video. Oh, hold on, my bad. We're actually going to have chicken nuggets. I picked up some McDonald's before I got here, and I wanted to kind of just offer up some peace here because I've heard that you guys are really brutal, ruthless. Sometimes you can be annoying. We're gonna start with some ranch here for the 10-piece chicken nuggets. But yeah, I've heard that you guys can be like super annoying. That's what Florida State said. And some of the other teams that you guys played. And I just wanted to take a moment to let you know that Miami fans, Canes Twitter, can also be pretty annoying. And before any Canes fans come and attack me, actually, let me try. I want to go with some barbecue. Before any Canes fans try to come in here and attack me, I'm putting myself in this group, in the annoying group. My point is, I don't think that the Calgorithm is ready for Canes Twitter. As much as everyone talks about the Calgorithm, they have no idea what's coming their way with Canes Twitter. Am I right, Canes fans? Now, what you guys did was pretty impressive. I'm kind of getting tired of the barbecue. Let's swap it over to honey mustard. Do you guys ever do this? Where you make it like a buffet? Where you like line them all up, all the dipping sauces and stuff? Some people, I mean, it can get expensive because they charge for these now. This one's not really, it's not mixed up real good. But what you guys did to get college game day and stuff in Berkeley for the first time ever, hats off. That's huge because as Miami fans, we get attention from this too. You know, the world's watching. It's 10:30. People were complaining, but who else are you going to watch? This is a ranked matchup. Number 8 Miami Hurricanes coming in. But you got to admit, we helped with that. We did our part. We came on every week. We retweeted, did all that, helped it out. But anyways, I'm getting way off topic here. Calgorithm, you ain't ready. You ain't ready for the rain of tweets that is going to pour down upon you by Canes Twitter. Because we are so used to arguing amongst ourselves all year. Not just during football season, all year. We attack each other verbally, assault each other online here on this platform. So anything that you're going to try to throw at us, we see, let's try some ketchup. We see worse every day from our fellow fans. So this is nothing. So Calgorithm, I hope you're ready. I think it's going to get wild. I think it's going to be really crazy. I got one left. And I think I know you're going to lose this football game. So let's have some fun with this algorithm versus change Twitter. Bring it on, algorithm. I'll take all of you on. And Kane's Twitter, if you want to back me up, you want to attack them in the comments here on YouTube, if that's where you're watching it, let's show them what we do. What's going on, Canes fans? I'm finally back from my undercover recon mission out in Tallahassee. And by undercover, that's probably a bit of a stretch. Look, I could not help myself. I kept throwing up the U down on the field throughout Doak Campbell Stadium, and I was wearing a Sebastian shirt, so walking around campus, I continued to get some weird looks and double takes from the students, but more on that in another video. It's time to preview the Cal game. Look, if you didn't understand the intro skit, just watch until the end of the video and I'll give an explanation. I understand that not everyone who watches these videos is on Twitter, or as they call it, X. If you are, then you are probably very familiar with the Calgorithm. So if you are one of those people, that skit probably made sense. If not, you're probably very confused. I'll explain later. So it's actually happening, huh? College game day in Berkeley, California for the first time ever, with the number 8 ranked Miami Hurricanes rolling into town. This Golden Bears team is an interesting one. They're currently sitting at 3-1 with a win over Auburn, who, listen, I totally get it, is 2-3 right now. But they only lost to a ranked Oklahoma by 6. But here's where it starts to get a little weird. Their one loss is to Florida State.
What?
14-9. Cal couldn't even produce a touchdown against a defense that's giving up around 24 points per game. How does this make any sense? Obviously, this Cal team is not an offensive powerhouse. They more so shine on the defensive side of the ball, where they actually lead the country in total interceptions at 10. Their pass defense it's pretty solid. And Miami has to also be very careful coming into this one, because Cal is actually coming off of a bye week, so they've had an extra week to prepare. And unlike what Miami has dealt with in the past with the bye week curse, typically a bye week is looked at as a good thing because it's more time to rest up, prepare for the game. And Miami is coming off of a very physical game against Virginia Tech last week. But shifting things back over to that Cal offense, their quarterback Mendoza is in his second year, and he loves to get the ball out quickly if possible. Now, he's not the most athletic, but that hasn't stopped him from picking up 9 first downs so far this season with his legs. He's really more of a game manager type of QB, but it's pretty rough out there for him because his O-line has given up 16 sacks in total so far this season. And just to give you a comparison, Miami has only given up 6. And keep in mind that Miami has played one extra game at 5 and Cal at 4. 16 sacks. And it gets worse. Mendoza is only completing 48.1% of his passes under pressure. With a clean pocket, however, he's sitting at 72.2%. And we all know how we feel about that Miami D-line, right? Now, maybe not quite as much after what went down against Virginia Tech, but Canes fans would like to believe that, the pass rush is going to be a problem for Cal's O-line. Now, running back Jaden Ott is probably a name that many of you recognize. The dude rushed for over 1,300 yards just this last season, but unfortunately for him, he's been battling a knee injury this season that has limited him to only 133 rushing yards. Now, the guy that was behind him has stepped up in a big way, Thomas, but he's only at 267. And just real quick, back to the defense, because for some reason we're jumping around all over the place. Cal's cornerback room has several veterans, and unlike their linebackers, they've not missed many tackles this season. And trust me, their linebackers have missed a lot of tackles. However, I will say that Miami missed 21 total tackles against Virginia Tech. This was actually a new record for Miami under Mario Cristobal. Since he's been here, that was the most missed tackles in a game, period. Disgusting! So let's take a quick look at the history between these two teams. Cal and Miami have faced off only 4 times in total, with the series tied at 2 games apiece. The most recent matchup was way back in 2008, back when Coop graduated high school, and Cal won that game 24-17. I will also show you some average stats so far this season for both Cal and the Canes. And coming into this matchup, average points per game, Cal at 23, Miami at 49. Points allowed against them per game, 13 for Cal, 15 for Miami, both very respectable numbers. Yards gained per game, 374 for Cal, 586 for Miami. And yards allowed against them, Cal coming in at 288 and Miami at 265. Now, what's not shown here are passing and rushing yards specifically that the defenses have allowed per game. And let me tell you, they are very similar. Both do favor Miami, but Cal is within 10 for passing and 12 for rushing. So defensively speaking, for both of these teams, great numbers. And now 3 keys to a victory for both squads, and we're going to kick it off with the Miami Hurricanes. Coming in at number 1, Lance Guidry should bring lots of pressure in this one. The D-line was actually a bit disappointing, as we said earlier in the video, against Virginia Tech, but Cal's pressure to sack percentage is the worst in the country. You heard me right. Cal's pressure to sack percentage is the worst in the country. Mario has come out and said that Bain will be back, and even if it is limited snaps, we know this dude is a playmaker. He's literally foaming at the mouth, wanting to get back out on the field. So this could be a big opportunity for those guys to redeem themselves this week. Number 2, limit the turnovers and, of course, tackle better than last week. Miami had 2 turnovers going into the Hokies game, where they ended up having 3 in just that one game. Without those, let's be real, Miami possibly wins big, maybe even blows out Virginia Tech. And with the tackling, I'm not even going to get into the specifics. You know what needs to happen. It just needs to be better all around. And lastly, every player on that field, on both sides of the ball, needs to give the same effort every single play that Arroyo did on that touchdown-saving tackle after the interception. You know the one that I'm talking about. They said he hit like 20 or 21 miles per hour. Obviously, we don't want to be in a situation where we're trying to stop an interception being returned for a touchdown, but just talking about the effort there, because that ended up paying off big time for the Canes. I believe that was the one where they were going to go for a field goal and they faked it, and Miami ended up stopping it. So the effort from Arroyo was huge there. We need effort like that out of everyone for the entire game. And as a bonus here, Miami might need to lean on the run a little bit more throughout this game, because Cal has only given up 3 passing touchdowns over their first 4 games. Now, is this a situation where Miami is the exception and Miami can throw on Cal? We'll find out. But if they need to lean on that run a bit, let's hope that they can get busy and pick up some positive yards. Let's also look at 3 keys to a victory for Cal. And coming in at number 1, walk away with touchdowns once you get in the red zone. In your only loss this season, which came to Florida State, Cal made 5 trips to the red zone and didn't score a single touchdown. Miami will put up points, and field goals alone for you guys is not going to cut it. Number 2, Cal has used tempo here and there at times this season, but I think that it should be a bigger part of the game plan this week if they're capable of doing it. This has been a little tough on Miami, as we've seen multiple times this season with some of the opponents, especially early in that USF game. And that's why I said if Cal is capable of doing it. USF was not able to maintain that. We'll see what Cal can do, but it's definitely an area where Miami struggles. And lastly, I think that you need a defensive score to have a shot at winning this game. Your corners are quite good, and a pick 6 is not unreasonable. Even just good field position is great, but I think that the offense will need a little more help than that. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty and actually talk some numbers here. I'm talking about a pick and score prediction for this game. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some of the pressure off of myself, and I'm going to get my dog Max to come on camera, and we're going to get his pick first. All right, everybody. It's time for Max's official pick. And he goes with the Cal upset in Berkeley, picking an L for the Canes. Now, as you can see, we are keeping track of the picks. Coop versus Max. Who gets closer at the end of the season? And both of us got it right last week. So that puts me at 5-0 and Max right behind me at 4-1. Before I give my official score prediction, I do always like to throw up the ESPN matchup predictor, which gives Miami a 71.6% chance to win this game and Cal 28.4%. Currently, at the time of filming this, FanDuel has the Canes listed as a 10.5 point favorite, with the over-under coming in at 54.5 points. This one's weird. I'm going to be honest, this one's really weird because last week I gave Miami a little bit too much credit on defense. I firmly believed that they could hold the Hokies to a heck of a lot less than they did. But this Cal offense is just so far from explosive. It's ridiculous. I mean, we're talking about a team here that could only muster field goals against Florida State, a defense that teams have been just pouring it on them week in and week out. It's been absolutely ridiculous. Unfortunately, not everything translates over from week to week, as you know, we're seeing a lot definitely this year in the 2024 season. So with that being said, I think that I'm going to put Miami. And I actually think that this, for some reason, I feel like this is going to shock people. I don't know why, but I think it is. I'm going to put Miami at 34. And I think it's this part that's going to shock people. And I'm going to put Cal at 17. And I understand your knee-jerk reaction. Wait. Delete the comment, backspace. Hold up just a second. I know what you're going to say. Coop, they only put up 9 on Florida State. And you're telling me that you are giving them 17 on Miami's defense. Coop, you're overreacting. You're freaking out because Virginia Tech was able to come out and score. They had a dual threat with drones. They had way more weapons than this Cal offense. You're 100% right on pretty much everything that you said. I think that there is a large talent gap between Miami and Cal, as in Miami has a much more talented team. And it's more so, I'm just going to be real with you. I think it's more so just late night on the other side of the country, college game day, bad vibe, juju, kind of thing. And I know that's not football talk, so I understand that it's not popular. And, hey, college game day, Miami versus Notre Dame. The Canes, blow the Irish out of the water. It's an absolute bloodbath. It's such a weird season. The Bears do defend against the pass really well. So we have to see if Miami can come out and just pass anyways, or if the run game finds success early, because we've seen where, that's not successful till later in the game, mostly the second half. Again, people saying, hey, it's taking what the defense gives you. Here's the thing. I'm not super confident in this score prediction. This could be a scenario where Miami comes out to prove a point. They bounced back after last week. They were a little embarrassed because Miami looked like, not me just saying this, look at the media. They're saying, title contenders, national title, definitely ACC championship game appearance type of team. And then everybody kind of started backing up and said, wait a minute. What's going on? Like, this Virginia Tech team played Miami close and literally almost beat them. It came down to a final play, which could have ended up being a loss for Miami in their first ACC game of the season. So I understand that it's very weird to see me give Cal 17. And honestly, it might even be weirder to see me only give Miami 34 in this game. I feel like if it's not this, like if Coop is just way the heck off on this one, I think it's because Miami just blows Cal out. That I really truly think that there's a chance where this could be like a 40-something points, like 41, 42 points, and holding Cal to 0 or only 3. And I'm being serious, but again, their defense is not bad. Just offensively, there's no way they're going to be able to keep up. And maybe I'm accounting for that. Could be like a defensive touchdown, or something on special teams. I don't know. They don't have a lot of offensive firepower. Mendoza's going to be in trouble. That O-line's not going to be able to protect him, even after what we saw with the D-line not doing as well last week. Their best running back that's on the roster is dealing with an injury. It's not going to be a good night for Cal. They are not going to win this game. Mark my words, Cal is not going to win. They're not. How much will they lose by? How much can Miami beat them by? We'll find out. Let me know if you think that I'm crazy with this 34-17. I feel like the fan base is going to believe that I am. But let me also, before we close this thing out, let you know what was up with that intro skit. You're thinking, Coop, like that wasn't funny. Like, what was going on with that? Or Coop's making fun of his own fan base with Canes fans. Look, yes, it was a little joke. The thing that's trending with the Calgorithm, which is what Cal Twitter calls themselves, is woke versus Coke. And by Coke, yes, I'm talking about cocaine. We're talking about, poking fun at Miami fans. They're talking about the old days, all that stuff. And they're saying that they're super woke. Like, they put up a lot of memes of, like rainbows and all these different things. And I'm not going to get into that. I'm not about that stuff. I typically keep my things about football minus some little jabs and funny jokes here and there and all that stuff. But so what it was is it was actually a little joke, because that's what they keep doing. I'll throw up some pictures right now. They're posting up little AI-generated images of Sebastian, and he's getting busted for having cocaine on him in California, but then they don't really care because they're all marijuana friendly, and they just want to be friends and hang out, and everyone be, woke and all this. I have no opinion on those things. I think it's funny. This is what they're known for. So there's this big showdown on Twitter right now that's the Calgorithm versus Canes Twitter. And if you're not on Twitter, the Miami Hurricanes fan base is very well known on Twitter. They call it Canes Twitter for a reason. I know it's X now, but they call it Canes Twitter. So it was a little jab at them, me saying, hey, you're known for being super crazy and annoying on Twitter. So let me do something crazy and annoying, and let me throw in the little Coke joke because that's what you guys are rolling with. So that was the point of the intro skit. This was the first one where I was like, you know what? I can't really think of anything. I'm traveling to Tallahassee to do some work stuff, and it's spur of the moment. And I was like, what can I do? And I was like, this just popped in my head, And then I realized, it hit me. I was like, not everyone who watches these videos is on Twitter. There's some of you that don't even have a Twitter account and never have. So you might not get the joke. So that's what it's about. If you are on Twitter, hopefully it hit. Hopefully like it was actually funny and you got it. But that's it. Just wanted to give a quick explanation. Let's chop it up down in the comment section below. Bro, I am tired. It is almost 4 o'clock in the morning. I've had 8 hours of sleep total over the last 3 days. So, I promise we're doing big things this season. I got to push. Wanted to get this video up, and we're going to have a good time this week. It's going to be a fun night, late game, and Miami's going to win. Remember, though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I got to say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out. I'll see y'all in the next one.